Well, welcome to the Top Gun Show, where I bring you new providers, new technologies, and introduce you to the best professionals in the industry, all so you can make informed decisions. Today I'd like to welcome Keith Dennis, the Senior Vice President of Sales for UJET, the sponsor of the Top Gun Show, in case you can't tell by looking at my shirt. Keith has an illustrious career in sales leadership. Before recently joining UJET, Keith was Vice President of the West and Central US and Canada for 8x8. Before that, he was RVP of Enterprise Sales in North America West for Oracle. Before that, he was Vice President of TalkDesk, and before that, he was Vice President of Enterprise Sales for Ring Central. Suffice to say that Keith knows his stuff. Keith, you made it! You're on the Top Gun Show.
Well, thank you. Good morning. It's been an achievement I've been waiting for a long time, so thanks for the invitation. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You've had a huge career, and I feel honored to be interviewing you with your career path and all. What led you to join UJET?
Yeah, that's a great question, and it's been quite a journey. My mom thinks I'm a little scatterbrained because I've done so many things for so many different companies, which is so different than her generation. But my career path's been quite a journey. I started out in retail electronics as a sales rep, got promoted to a department manager, then became the store manager, and initially in high tech I was recruited, or I was actually asked to open their first personal computer department, which I did. And then I got recruited to join a B2B technology reseller where we sold third-party peripheral solutions for solutions like IBM, Silicon Graphics, which most people know as SGI, Sun Microsystems, and HP. And from there, I actually got recruited to join SGI Silicon Graphics as a sales rep. Moved over to Netscape, who then was acquired by America Online, who partnered with Sun Microsystems, initially dubbed as the Sun Netscape Alliance, and then later they were acquired by Oracle. But my journey into communications space started somewhat serendipitously. I had started a trusted advisor partnership consultancy in the early 2000s, and one of my first customers was moving into a new sales building, and they were leaving a shared PBX in the old office space. So they asked me if I could help with a new phone system, and I kind of said to myself, how hard could that be? Well, that moment in that time, it's been 20 years now that I've been in the communications space, so it's been quite a journey, and it wasn't exactly the path that I chose directly, but the opportunities that have presented themselves to me have been fantastic.
You didn't know that when you said yes to that customer, it was going to be a 20-year decision to this point in time anyway. Well, let's talk about UJET specifically. Why should customers consider changing to UJET? In other words, why change, why now, and why to UJET?
Yeah, that's a great question. Part of what I said a moment ago around kind of a best-in-class SaaS architecture is something I would lean in on. As a salesperson or as a sales leader, there's nothing worse than having to go on what I refer to as the world mea culpa tour to apologize for outages, and in some cases for multiple outages. So no CCaaS provider has the best-in-class global architecture that UJET does, and we believe it needs to work, and it needs to work all the time. Otherwise, the features and the solution you're delivering really does not have value. So if you're looking for uptime and reliability, there's no vendor on the planet that does it better than we do. I think a couple other things. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I thought you were done. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, second to uptime is that user experience, and there's a few users in particular that love UJET. I kind of lump them into the pretty simple agents, supervisors, and obviously the leadership of the company, and customers. And when I say customer in this context, I mean the customer's customer, or those that they interact with within the contact center. So agents want modern tools that are easy to use and allow them to be effective in their role. Supervisors want visibility into how they're performing against KPIs, and they want to be able to coach their staff as close to real time as possible. Kind of like catching your dog a week after he did something you didn't like and you try to coach him, it's not going to work. So the quicker that you can interact with your agents to coach them up, it's much more effective, we found. And lastly, customers want to interact in the modality and the channel of their choice. And so there's really, I think we can all say, there's nothing more frustrating than an experience where maybe I start with a chatbot, I enter a bunch of information, only to 2 minutes later get deflected to a voice channel where I have to start all over the same information, got to re-authenticate myself, repeat nearly all the same information. So we solve those challenges. We make it easy for the agents. We give visibility for the supervisors to get the data they're looking for in real time. The improving agent performance, but also reducing employee attrition is super important, because recruiting and onboarding is extremely expensive. And yet they improve resolution times while reducing the need for human interaction by leveraging powerful AI technology, which we're an AI first company and always have been. You can provide a measurable benefit to the real lifetime value of the customer and that customer's experience. Because if I have a great experience, I'm going to share it, but more oftentimes if I have a terrible one, those are the ones that customers tend to share the most.
Well, Keith, I know you're a big fan of the show, and I know you know there are millions and millions of people watching you right now. Why don't you tell the viewers a fun little known fact about yourself?
Oh, now you're going to make me nervous. Well, we had a company all hands this morning, and I got asked that exact same question. It was really interesting, and I was thinking, well, what is interesting about me? But I'll just share a personal story. I was invited to be on the Jerry Springer Show. And so usually if I tell people that and they know what Jerry Springer Show is or was, they didn't realize that he had an initial version which was somewhat normal, and then the shock value came into play. So they always think about the shock value. But I was invited to basically come onto the Jerry Springer Show. I was adopted at birth, and my birth mother had tried to track me down. She got free services through Jerry Springer that if I agreed to come to Chicago and be on the show, they would introduce me to her, which I did not do. I did meet her at a later date, but that's one of the more interesting things that I've had happen to me personally.
Well, in over 900 interviews, you're the only person I've ever interviewed that got invited to be on Jerry Springer. That's pretty funny. I know some people who should be on Jerry Springer Show, the old version, but that's cool. Well, hey, Keith, I know you're busy. I'm really a huge fan of what you guys are doing there at UJET. Thanks for carving out time out of your busy schedule to be on the show today. I appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you very much, Steve.
Thanks for watching, everybody.